UTME registration has started, and the exam will begin around April. If you plan to make this your last UTME, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Pelumi, a fourth-year medical student of the University of Ibadan. Before entering medical school, I had to write UTME multiple times before I finally succeeded. I'll be sharing my experience with you in this video. Now, the first thing you need to do is to be truly committed. Now, what do I mean by this? Once you gain admission into a Nigerian tertiary institution, you have to really mean it. Now, reason being that to gain admission into a Nigerian university is very, very competitive due to the large number of people applying into the tertiary institution. So you have to really, really mean it, because without the commitment, you won't be able to follow through with what comes next. And this is even more important if you're applying for a very competitive course into a very competitive school. As I said before, getting admission into a tertiary institution in Nigeria is very, very competitive. And I said before that it is due to the large number of applicants per year. And each year, the number of applicants keeps increasing because the people from previous years that don't get admission will join the new set of people that are trying to apply the following year. And with this realization comes another. You have to really put in the work, because the competition is very high, and the only way you can survive in a competitive environment is if you either outwork someone, the other people, or you are way better than them. And the only way you can be way better than other people is by putting in more work than they do. Another thing you should do is to make plans. I know most people may feel, oh, what's the point of making plans? Or if I make a plan, I won't follow through. But then having a plan will actually give you a sense of direction. And you should also keep in mind that you're not just preparing for UTME alone, you're preparing for post-UTME as well. And that's if your school of choice conducts post-UTME. There are some school of choice that do not conduct post-UTME, that they use your whole level results with your UTME results. But then for those that conduct post-UTME, you have to have it in mind right from the beginning, right from now, that you will be preparing for post-UTME. Now you may be asking that how should your plan, how should it look like? Now your plan should include the number of hours you have to study daily. It has to include the time period in which you study. It has to include the materials that you use to study. It has to include the past questions you will use. It has to include the textbooks you will use as well. I think you have about 2 months before the exam, and I believe it's still enough time for you to actually prepare very well for the exam. If you feel like every single time that you have to actually prepare for the exam. Now, a very sample of how your study plan should be. Check here. So to include the time, the study hours, the textbook you will use, and the past questions you will use as well. Now, after the plan now comes the hardest part, implementing the plan. That is one of the major challenges people face. You will have a plan in mind that, oh, this is how prepare for this exam, and then you won't be able to follow through. Now, I have some key points that you can use to actually overcome the challenges that you may face with implementing the plans. First of all, I think one major problem people tend to have is procrastination. Personally, I don't think there is. You will have checked a lot of videos on YouTube everywhere, and they will tell you, oh, this is how you overcome procrastination, and this does not always work. But one thing I know that surely works most of the time is you personally having a conviction in yourself that you know that you do not have enough time, and you know that you need to gain admission this year. It must not be next year. So whatever it is that is distracting you, that is making you procrastinate, you have to come to realization that those things are not that important. And also, procrastination will waste your time, and in order for you to beat the remaining competitors, which are the other applicants, you have to put in more work. And the only way you can put in more work is if you dedicate more time. And so that means that every single moment must count. So you should utilize every single moment to actually study. So I think coming to the realization of that will be what will make you stop procrastinating. Because I remember when I was preparing for UTME around 2018, 2019, it was just more like a self-realization. Like I just realized that, I have to prepare very well for this exam. This exam has to be my last, and I start to like subconsciously remove distractions from my life. Like for example, I had to register at the library, and I go there almost every day. There's nothing to distract me. There's no TV at home or anything TV in the library that I will be watching that will be distracting. So I dedicate a lot of time to study in that way. So that way I was able to overcome the procrastination. I would just go to although there are some times that I won't be able to go, but it's not I go to the library more often. So that's another way you just have to just realize that you have to gain admission that year, and you don't want to waste your time. That's the thing. So another thing aside from procrastination is sticking to the plan, because over time probably something else come along the line, you want to like change the plan. Now, one thing you should realize about making a plan and following through with the plan is, if you have a plan, you do it today, you do it tomorrow, you do it next day. It's like you are building a house brick by brick. Now, for every single time that you do not build that brick, that you do not work to lay another brick, the remaining brick more like disintegrate. So I think that's that mindset to actually help you to stick with the plan. And if you've observed, if you study today, study tomorrow, study next tomorrow, it becomes easier for you to like go on studying compared to you studying today, not studying tomorrow, and studying the next day. It becomes more difficult. But if you actually study today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, it becomes very easy for you to actually like study, and you tend to like spend lesser time, because you have an information in your head today. Like after you study, you have an information in your head today. Some of the information that you put in your head today, you will use it tomorrow if you are going to study tomorrow, because most of the way the textbooks are structured is in such a way that the previous topic that you've read will be useful in understanding the next topic that you have. So if you stick to the plan and follow through with it, it's more like it saves you time, so that you won't spend as much time actually study. That's a truth that most people don't know. You don't spend as much time study, and it sticks better as well too. So another thing that I think I didn't realize earlier on was to solve a lot of past questions. Now, the way you can actually test whether what you studied is in your head is if you practice it, you put it into use. And the only way you can put it into use is if you solve past questions. And it will be a bonus for you if those past questions are now repeated. It becomes very easy, because once you realize, for example, for physics questions now, UTME physics questions, they may change the question, but then the principle behind solving the question still remains the same. So if you solve enough questions, it becomes more like a reflex action for you. When you get into the exam, it saves you time in the exam, so that you finish before every other person, or you have enough time to solve some other questions that are difficult. So solve a lot of past questions, it helps. And also, you should make sure that you do a mock exam, whether the one conducted by UTME or the one conducted by tutorial centers. Now, I know people might feel, exactly the one conducted by tutorial centers, might feel, oh, and the money is much accountable. But don't let the first time that you be in an exam position be inside your exam hall. You should have enough experience doing a lot of exams, so you know, oh, I'll start with biology, so I will have enough time for all this thing. I'll start with this thing because it saves me time and all comes. You have an idea of how to manage your time in an exam, or if you have done a lot of mock exams. So make sure you attempt mock exams, whether the one conducted by JAM or the one conducted by your university of choice, or the one conducted by a tutorial center. I have some bonus tips for you. The first bonus tips is that you should ask for information from people in the institution studying the same course that you plan to get into, that you're trying to apply to, because they will have enough idea about the subject combination that you have to choose, the your whole level requirements and what comes. You have an idea, and you have an idea of how competitive that particular course or that institution is, and your target UTME score or your target post UTME score. It helps you. And also, bonus tips too, try to get an accountability partner, probably like your friend, that you guys study together, you guys practice questions together, because there will be some days that you will not feel like actually studying or doing anything, but then because they are there and their own energy may be high, it tends to like resonate with you, and then you study even though you are not feeling like studying. So try to get an accountability partner. And that will be all, guys. I hope you find this very helpful. If you like this video, kindly hit the like button, and if you've not subscribed at all, kindly hit the subscribe button. See you guys in my next video.